Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nerds on the Couch. Today's date is May 29th, 2014, and we got a lot to talk about. And is it just me? I'm getting annoyed because all the news is happening right before the show. You know,
Yeah.
It always does.
I know. And but first and foremost, though, this weekend, I got to say, Memorial Weekend was this past weekend. Summer is here, and wow, we started off with a bang.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got X-Men, the new movie X-Men
Days of
Days
Future
of Future
Past.
Past. I can't believe I forgot. I want to say United. I don't know why.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, I got to ask you this, okay, before we actually get into it and all this, I got to ask you guys this. Aren't you guys glad about what happened in X-Men Days of Future Past now?
I got mixed feelings. That's the best I can tell you right now. Before getting into it, I got mixed feelings.
Well, you know
I
what? Go ahead.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it really brings you back to the comic book to how they keep reinventing everything. And I know a lot of people didn't like that they reinvented the past again, but I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm going to say this. I did have a couple of problems. The continuity didn't really make a lot of sense to me. There was a lot of little problems. I do like the ending. I do like what they did with the ending. That they fixed certain problems that should never have come up in the first place, and killing off some people that shouldn't have been. But there's also some continuity problems. I mean, you have certain issues that came up, especially with like number one, who made Magneto's helmet? Did Magneto make it himself? He who built Cerebro and all that. That was with the X-Men First Class, and that caused all sorts of issues with that. I didn't like that those issues haven't been resolved, and those answers are not forthcoming. And how many of you guys have seen the Wolverine?
Oh yeah.
Has everyone here seen the Wolverine, especially the ending of the year of Wolverine? Did it jive with this movie?
Well, the thing I have to say for certain one, the Magneto helmet, didn't it come from Kevin Bacon's villain
Yeah,
character?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
it
that's
came
the way
from
it is in
Shaw.
first class. In the thing is, the way he's talking about is that in X-Men the movie, um, Professor X talked about how that basically Magneto and him had created Cerebro together, and that Magneto had created the helmet to go ahead and counteract Cerebro and
Professor
uh,
X.
Professor X's you know
Telepathy.
powers, and that it was Magneto that created the helmet.
Well, I
Yep.
gotta say that some continuity issues you just can't avoid. You know, I mean, I knew before the movie came out the basic plot of the movie, and I knew things were going to change. But overall, though, man, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the film.
I
For
have
me,
to agree with you. I have to agree with you. Go ahead.
oh, I apologize. No, you go
No, no,
ahead.
no, it's all right. That's all right. I'm done.
I agree with you. It was enjoyable, and I do like the fact that it went ahead and fixed um, the biggest screw up in comic book movie history.
Oh God, yes.
Here it comes.
You all know how much I deplored X-Men 3. But going through this, I kept on feeling they could have done more. Um, it definitely felt like it is the successor to um, First Class, but I wanted to see more action with, um, with the Sentinels. Um, and it kept on avoiding that a lot when it comes to the modern day Sentinels. I can tell you what their best decision was, and that was getting Peter Dinklage to go ahead and be playing Trask. I thought he hit it out of the park.
Well, the one thing I really liked about it was that partly, or I guess the big joke that I got out of this was that at the end of the movie, my daughter crossed her arms and she was like, "My entire childhood was a lie."
Oh,
Because you realize that X-Men 1, X-Men 2, and X-Men 3, the Wolverine X-Men Origins, and Wolverine, the Wolverine, poof, gone. You know?
yeah, yeah, definitely, and that's what I have a
All of
problem
it
with also.
changed.
Everything's been rewritten. You know what? And I'm glad they're getting certain things back to the way it was. I mean, I remember X-Men 3, the way that Scott Summers went, and also the way Jean Grey went. I mean, I read the Dark Phoenix saga. I read all of that particular story arc, and it was great. I mean, what happened with the Dark Phoenix and the way she went from, this beautiful soul to something dark and hateful, that's something that could destroy the entire universe. And she enjoyed killing, and she talked about how much she enjoyed destroying that star and feeling all the death around her in that particular star system. And I'm hoping that they're going to bring something of that back in the future. I mean, I really want that.
You want
You
the
know,
deep?
the movie was okay for me, just okay. There were certain things about it I didn't like. It gave me the same problem that the Wolverine did, or yeah, the Wolverine. You had mutants in the movie, a lot of it, but a lot of them were window dressing. They weren't central to the storyline, which bothered me. I would have liked to seen a little bit more mutants actually being part of the main storyline. All we had was Wolverine, Professor X, Beast, Magneto, and Mystique. That's it. You know, where's anybody else? One other guy or somebody contributing something would have been nice. All the things in the future was window dressing. We just had them for a minute and then they died. Oh, look at me, Sentinel, I'm dead. You know, I would have more of that.
Well, I gotta say, some of those Sentinel scenes in the future were awesome.
Yeah, yeah, they
Watching
were awesome, but
not Colossus, and some of that was pretty brutal.
right,
Yeah,
but right, but the
but
point is that they were just window dressing. I mean, did they affect the storyline in any way? Not really. They were just there to die, basically. The main storyline was just those guys I mentioned. Everybody else is just there to die, basically.
What
Seriously.
what I would agree with him on this is the X-Men in the comics, and it's based on this is a team. And you don't see them acting as much as a team as it is Wolverine in the front going ahead and doing the muscle, while Charles is in the back going ahead and doing the thinking, and that's it. Uh, I'm in agreement there. I wanted to see them having to band together to fight against the common enemy, which is you know, the
Sentinels.
Sentinels. I wanted more of that, and you're hitting the nail on the head. That's what I was missing as well. The mutants having to work together as a team to fight off this menace. And that's what the comic is all about.
I looked at it a bit differently because I sat down and I realized things, the angle the director was taking it to. And I have to say, I'm glad Bryan Singer came back to do this one for some reasons I'll discuss a little bit later. But the way I looked at it was this was the end. In the beginning, they made you absolutely feel the post-apocalyptic future. People are in camps, dying. I totally got into that. And then when Patrick Stewart, which again I was so glad to see him back, gave that talk with Wolverine and talked about going back and all that, I kind of got the feeling that this was more of a personal movie, that it was more focused on the inside more than the action. Because I agree with you, as a superhero movie, some of the action scenes were good. I enjoyed the Quicksilver scenes. I enjoyed the Mystique scenes and with the army, and he was really good in emphasizing those scenes. But I realized, like, getting like about 20, 30 minutes into it, that I have to adjust myself because I was adjusting myself to a Disney Marvel movie. And I think that's kind of a mentality some people had. And I had to quickly adjust myself and realize I'm kind of watching a personal, introspective movie. And that being said, my main issue that I was going to bring up was the climax. I thought the major climax was completely weak. It could have been a whole lot better, considering the potential it had with Magneto and the White House and all that. I was expecting a big payoff. I didn't get it. But he was trying to go personal, and I kind of got into that. And that's what I liked about it. The rise of Professor X. That's basically the way I looked at this.
I would agree with you there because I did. All right. Here's the problem in movies again and again, and especially a comic book movie. First 2/3 are great. The first 2 acts of the movie are pretty much, they're building up to something. And then the final act, either it becomes too much action and not enough, substance, or it goes ahead and becomes too cerebral and not enough of the action. And I felt this one could have had a little more, action part to it. Fighting the Sentinels. Instead of the Sentinels are sort of like, all of a sudden, part of Magneto.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Okay. All right. The main problem for me in this movie is it's 2 movies. That's what it is. It's 2 movies combined into one. Okay. And the problem with that is one of those movies misses out. I like the whole Days of Future Past, the future. I would have liked to see more of that. You know what I mean? But since it's a combined movie, we got cheated out of that. We didn't. We just got like a taste of it. Not saying that the other second movie that got meshed with it, the second part with them in the 70s didn't work. Solid storyline. That I had no problem with. The storyline was great. The characters made sense. The story progressed really well, and I'm kind of contrary to you. I like the way it ended. I like the whole. It was a subtle way of ending it because it was all about the mutants. It's why the mutants are deciding the future, not humanity. But I think they did cheat Days of Future Past. They did cheat that future. They did kind of not treat it. Well, I don't know. I mean, it worked in the way they did it, but I wish. I don't know. I can't really tell you anything. I mean, they meshed it the best way they could, but in a lot of ways, I probably would have enjoyed a separate movie with just them in the future. You know what I mean? Trying to survive. That would have been interesting to me. I like the way they did it here, but it still feels like they cheated that part. There's a lot of potential they could have done there.
Oh, I still got to say, I did not need to see Hugh Jackman's ass again.
That was for the girls.
That was for the girls.
All the girls were going, ooh.
All the guys are like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say that when I was at the theater, I heard all the girls doing the bells and whistles and all that. Was that with you, Kelly?
Oh yes, that was definitely for the girls. Keep us.
And all the guys are going, ew, let's go on, move on.
Well, I appreciate it because one, he was a lot buffer in this one than in the last Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
But now this is one question I wanted to present to you guys because, I thought overall, like I said, I'm not giving it a negative review. I'm saying that it's actually a pretty damn good movie, and way better than the third one.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to ask you guys this: Hugh Jackman says, I mean, he's contracted for 2 more. We know if you stayed around for the end of the credits
Oh
who
yeah.
the next
Oh
villain,
yes.
and they already
Oh
spoiled
yeah.
it out. They already spoiled it on the internet. It's Apocalypse,
Yeah.
and also Hugh Jackman said he's contracted for 2 more. He feels really good, and he says now that he might go on and do a few more. Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine for 6 movies.
How many years is that?
15.
He's spanning about
About
15.
12.
Well, yeah, let's do
Well,
12,
the first
15.
one was what, 98, 99?
Yeah, 98. I remember it was 98.
You're
And
talking about 15 years, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so give or take about that. You know, I was saying, considering how good this one was, should this be his swan song?
No.
No.
No, I like the
Glad.
whole movie except for the end. I mean, you had the same problem I had, or maybe I'm agreeing with the problem you had. I didn't like Famke Janssen and the guy that played Scott, that played Cyclops, or Scott. I don't like their interaction. I don't like them. I don't want them to come back. I
Well,
hope
here,
if they do come
let
back,
me let me give you
yeah.
guys my reasoning. Here's my reasoning. Because the Wolverine character that we saw in X-Men, I'm talking about the first X-Men movie. He was conflicted, he was a loner, he was going through all this, because again, his memory and all this. And we saw the journey that Wolverine took through these 3 movies, and then we saw his origin, and then the conflict that he had in the Wolverine. And at the end of this X-Men movie, and I know I'm drawing a fine line on the spoilers, but I have to bring it up. Um, Wolverine got everything he wanted. He's okay.
Oh my God, you're right. Oh,
Except
wish
Yeah.
one
for it, he got it.
deal with Scott.
No, I
No,
mean, all his personal anger, all his conflicts, all that stuff that was like making him, it's settled. It's done.
oh my God.
Where
Right.
can
Well,
Hugh Jackman?
what's interesting about that though is whatever new Wolverine he comes out in, whatever new movie. Remember, this is a completely different world. It's gonna be a movie of our Wolverine that we know and love adjusting to this new reality. You know what I mean? And just that is interesting.
Well, the Wolverine, again, pointing out at the end, was the future.
Hmm.
So there's still between now and then, and they already said the X-Men Apocalypse is probably going to take place in the 80s. And they're progressing a little bit more, and the sky is open now. I mean, again, I'm drawing the fine line here, but the sky is open now to redo the entire franchise.
Yeah, they
That's
could.
what it is, yeah.
Yeah, and there's only one thing that you're going to have to worry about, and that's continuity between all these new films. I mean, compare that to what Marvel's done with Avengers.
No, but they
And
solved the continuity, didn't they? I mean, it takes place in the 70s. The
Mhm.
future that we saw never happened.
Yeah. Well, and what I'm saying is, if they're going to continue this, they have to keep a good continuity. If they don't, and they go ahead and start dropping it like last week's hash, that's going to be real bad. I mean, it's going to have people questioning, okay, what are they trying to do here? I don't understand why they did this. I don't understand why they did that. And this is where Marvel has gotten it completely correct. I mean, look at all the franchises that are working with Avengers. You got Agents of Shield, and then you have all the Avengers movies, and then you have the Iron Man, Hulk, all those movies, and they tie in very, very well. And so if you don't have someone tying in very well, you're going to have some real big problems. You're going to have some issues.
You're
And technically,
you're
you're right.
okay. I'm sorry. You're bringing up the big point is that this is the reboot, everything now is in their court in regards to Fox, I think it is.
Hmm.
Everything is in their court. If they go ahead and mess it up, it's them. But Singer basically came in and removed their biggest mistake. I'm considering this the biggest mulligan ever done.
I give you that one.
They took their drop, and they are now going ahead and continuing down the course. And that's what they should do, is continue. Uh, but it's in their court now. They have to go ahead and be careful on how they go ahead and do this. But I mean, I'm hopeful for myself. Yeah, there's continuity errors, but the thing is this: they're not as blatant as some of the ones that I've seen in such things as Batman.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh,
if you
oh,
want continuity errors, we can go there.
We're not going there.
oh, yeah,
No.
don't. You're gonna give me a heart attack.
No, but first of all, here's the thing. Can't they just pick up from the second? Well, now we can call it the second movie.
Yeah.
Can't we just pick up from there?
We don't even have to pick up from the second movie.
No, I
They
mean, I'm
can go
saying
their own way.
James McAvoy is coming back. The actor who played Beast, I'm drawing a blank on him, is coming
Kelsey Grammer.
back. Was it? No, the
The
younger
other one. Oh, the
Yeah,
younger
Nick-
one.
Oh yeah, Young Beast.
Nicholas Hoult.
I'm
Yeah.
saying he's coming back. What's her name? Jennifer Lawrence, who played Mystique, is coming back. The younger cast is coming back along with Hugh Jackman. So here is the potential to start fresh again. You could start off a little later. Again, I think they're shooting for the 80s. And, they could potentially stay in that era for a while and, show how things are progressing with a new villain. And everybody took different roles now. The role of Magneto has completely changed at the end of this movie. If we paid attention to the newspaper and all that, and everything that happened, like with Paris and all that, changed time completely. So we're in a new land, new frontier. You technically can reboot everything now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of potential for a lot of growth in other things. I mean, they showed Havoc. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Cyclops down the line. That would be interesting. We saw Quicksilver carrying his little sister, who who his little sister is.
Right.
Yeah.
There's it's open to all this new development. It's interesting. That's kind of one thing I kind of regretted. I wish there was more of a resolution between Quicksilver and Magneto. I wish there was something.
Yeah.
Well, they teased it, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
teased the hell
Yeah.
out of it. But,
All right. One thing, okay, coming down to our usual reviews and all that, since we're all educators here, all of us are going to give a quick review of the film and grade this film. I'm going to start with Kelly. You've been quiet.
Well, I do like that it did resolve a lot of issues, did bring back characters who should have never died in the first place, and was able to give a fresh start because there have been so many different versions of X-Men between the cartoon, comics, so they needed this clean slate. As far as the action, I was really happy with it. I did wish they would have given a little bit more on Quicksilver and Magneto's relationship, so that's an area that they can actually explore in the next film. And the Brotherhood, which they also hinted at in the beginning with Mystique rescuing those mutants. But overall, I would give it a B-.
All right. Orly?
All right. Well, a couple of things that I want to bring up. I liked how the fact that watching the beginning of this movie was like watching Terminator. You see the bodies, you see everything, and this is not a spoiler because, of course, you have it. Time travel, there's another Terminator thing. They send back someone to go ahead and fix the future and everything else. So you have that, and then you got the fact that this movie and all the X-Men movies, now that I think about it, they should be renamed. They should just be renamed Wolverine and the X-Men, or whoever is around. Um, because come on, I mean, Wolverine is there all the time. The focus has been Logan on all and most, in some shape or form, the focus is on him. I guess because people feel that he's more interesting than everyone else. But you know what? I wish they would go ahead and have a little bit more focus on the other mutants, especially getting someone like Kitty Pryde into it and explaining her story and her trials and tribulations. Even Jean Grey, becoming first the Phoenix and becoming maybe a force for good or whatever. But watching the movie, I liked the effects. I liked the characters, interaction between the characters. I still hate Scott Summers. I still hate that guy. When I see him, just seeing him makes me want to go ahead and smack him. But I knew that if I did, I'd probably get a blast in the face, and all that. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there that I loved, and I did like the fact that they did do a successful reboot. Only one guy remembers everything, and that's what happens. I want to ask you guys something later in private about Wolverine and water that we discussed once. And well, as for my grade, I liked the movie, but I am not going to give it an A++. I did like it enough that it did fix things. So, but this is a Band-Aid a little too late that they should have had it correct anyway. So a 94 and a half. There you go.
Wow. All right, Chino?
I liked the movie. I enjoyed a lot of it. There were certain things that didn't make well. I wish there's certain things they'd explained, like Kitty Pryde. How the heck can she do what she's doing? You know what I mean? There's no explanation to that, and if there is, it's so brief that it doesn't. It's so brief that I don't even remember exactly what they said. They didn't. In fact, I don't think they said anything. She's just doing it, and they gloss over why she's doing it. That I wish they'd explain that somewhere along the lines. I enjoyed the story. Like I said, the story with the 70s was a solid storytelling. Solid. At a beginning, middle, and an end. There's no flaws there. All the characters' motivations. Why they're doing everything. I enjoyed seeing what Wolverine was like in the 70s right at the beginning in the first scene when he goes back. That was great. That's totally Wolverine in the 70s. I totally enjoyed that. That was great. Like Kelly said, I kind of wish there was a little bit more between Quicksilver and Magneto. I kind of wish there was something there. I also kind of wish that other mutants had taken a bigger part in it. I agree with Orly. I think Wolverine was so much the focus that what made the first one kind of cool is you could focus on different people. And I can't fault the relationship between Magneto and Professor X. When they have that conversation when they come back together was great. Just their interaction. You see their motivations. You see where they're coming from. And you can also see why they have the friendship that they have. That was great. I liked all that. And my brother, surprisingly enough, said something really interesting while we were watching this movie, and it surprised me because it was my brother. He was like, where's Cable? Well, my brother's not a fan, so, he mentioned that. Where's Cable? Is Cable going to come out? I was like, wow, that is a good point. Cable, if we're talking about who the new villain is going to be, Cable, the introduction to Cable would be great. Well, but anyways, aside from all that, what I enjoyed about this movie is the potential. There's so much potential now, And like you guys have said, I hope they don't mess it up. There's so much potential. I'm going to give this a solid B. I enjoyed it a lot more than Godzilla, just because the story was a little bit more solid. Like, I could follow all the characters, not like in Godzilla where I was bored with certain characters. In this one, everybody did their role and it worked. I kind of really didn't want to see, like Ortiz said, Jean Grey and Cyclops. I'm glad I know why they showed them in the movie, but I always kind of didn't like they just seem mismatched, And Renee brought it up a long time ago, and I have to agree with him. It just seems mismatched. I wouldn't mind not seeing them again. I enjoyed seeing Beast though, or the older Beast. That was kind of cool. Solid B.
Right, David?
Okay. Well, I loved X-Men 2 more than any of the other, all of the X-Men. X-Men 2 was my X-Men. And this, I was so appalled when X-Men 3 happened. And what I like about this film is that they didn't bother to say that X-Men 3 never happened, which other franchises have done, just forget that big mess up that we made, and this is what's really happening. Instead, they go ahead and keep it canon, but go ahead and reload the cannon into another barrel. I like what they did with it, but I wish that there was the team that I felt going on in, especially X-Men 2. The whole team working together to go ahead and deal with the crisis. It wasn't just Wolverine and the X-Men, which for me, that's what it was starting to become, the whole franchise, Wolverine centered. And I hope that they can go ahead and sort of go back to the way that X-Men should be, which is a team of mutants working together. And I was hoping to have more of the team. But I will say this. Solid story writing. Even though there are some continuity errors in regards to other films with this, I don't mind them. I go ahead and consider this a clean slate. It washed the bad taste out of my mouth and left me wanting to go ahead and, or at least be willing to go back into the X-Men universe. Myself, I enjoyed it, and I want to see what comes next with what I consider one of the best X-Men villains that they can bring out. It's going to be great to see what they do with the Apocalypse, unless they messed it up like I was anticipating, the Dark Phoenix saga. For me, I would give it a solid B. I still wish there was a little more teamwork. As Chino would say, it needed some more mutants, and not just as dressing, but actually a center part of the plot.
Okay. Thank you. One thing for me, just to make it short, I agree with all of you guys said. Basic story line. The story itself hooked me. I was intrigued. I was fascinated. I understand this was kind of like a Terminator plotline, and all that. That was a great analogy you pointed out there. But one thing I have to say with it is that part of it I want to tell people, because I think we're coming off a little negative on it, that it was mostly not a Marvel Avengers action movie. It was more of a personal, cerebral. And some people argue, well, maybe they got a little too cerebral, which I might agree. They got a little bit more than what I wanted. But then when we got more action, we end up with something like X-Men 3. Yeah. And so I think they were trying to come up to a balance, and the balance itself was hard. But they really followed through, and this was a solid movie. I have to say, solid, complete. The actors in it were great. I did not pick out a bad actor in this movie. They were all pretty good. And the cameos, I completely fell in love with the cameos. I'm so glad. Again, I try not to focus on the actor, more on the character. And I'm glad to see these actors back, because this is the last time we're going to see them. If Cyclops and Jean Grey come back, They're not going to be played by Famke Jensen and the other guy. I forgot his name. I don't care. But
No one does.
but, but I do love now we have the potential for a new Jean Grey. I love the character of Cyclops. I love the X-Men. So now we can have another Cyclops, another Jean Grey, another Iceman. You know, like Kelly said, it's a clean slate. We can start over. The sky's the limit now. We can have Warpath. We can have the original, you know, a brand new Storm. All these new characters. Everything is open now. And I'm so glad we got that. And that's the one thing I want to say is that since this is a clean slate, Hugh Jackman was supposed to be an ensemble movie. I mean, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, they're all great actors. But Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is a solid actor, and he's a solidified movie star. We know Hugh Jackman. We love Wolverine, you know, and that's why I think he dominated, because he knows his character so well that, you know, you just can't help but admire him and love him because he's Wolverine. And that's why I say this movie was so awesome. It is great. It is an awesome X-Men movie. I rank this X-Men movie now as my #2 favorite movie. I love the original, and they can't take that away from me. But this is my solid #2 favorite. And because of this, I have to say that maybe it's time for Hugh Jackman to bow down and let another actor become Wolverine, because it needs to be an ensemble movie. And as long as Hugh Jackman is in it, we're all going to be looking at Hugh Jackman. And that was my reasoning for that.
You know, the actor that stole the show, though, is the one that played Nixon. Now, that guy was great.
I actually give credit. I think Jennifer Lawrence, who played Mystique, actually really stood out in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And to give it a grade, I have to give it. Again, I want it. People are going to say, or they've asked me before, oh, was it better than Captain America: The Winter Soldier? Because you gave that a perfect score. And I thought about it and all that, and I said I can't do it because I had a major issue. Like I said before, my major issue was the climax scene. You saw Magneto with the stadium, the White House, the Sentinels, and I'm thinking, oh boy, this is going to be the fight of the fight. And instead, it became kind of a personal choice drama thing, and it was a bit of a letdown. And then not even that. I mean, Hugh Jackman wasn't even there, just to give you that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so because of that, I'm giving this movie a B. It's watchable. It's enjoyable. I'm going to get it on Blu-ray, but it did fall a little short. But I'm just glad we have potential.
Yeah, and I would like to go ahead and point out one more thing that just occurred to me. If you watch this movie and you don't know anything about X-Men, you know, which is doubtful for people who are watching us, but if you take somebody who hasn't been introduced to X-Men already, they won't know who is who. They're going to go ahead and see the Weather Witch, Storm, and they're going to think, oh, it's Halle Berry, and who is she? And then you're going to see, oh, it's Iceman, and they're like, why is he all white? And you're going to see all these characters, and there's no introduction to them. And this is relying on the fact that they understand that people have watched these characters, that people have read the books, and they already know who these characters are. But there is no introduction for them. And you have to for someone to really watch this movie and enjoy it, they have to understand some of the back stuff. They already have to come in with prior knowledge.
I was thinking that they were going to go with, at first, with Bishop going into the past like they have in previous stories. I mean, I remember those.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was at the very beginning, that was sort of in my mind. Are they bringing Bishop into this? And I'm going, And then they went the way that they did, which I don't mind.
Well, Hugh Jackman is the star, man. No matter what. That's what
Yeah.
I'm. That's my main emphasis now.
Yeah, but the thing is that in X-Men 2, he was there, but he didn't have to steal the show. And in this one, he doesn't have to, but they went ahead and said, okay, you know what? We're paying so much money for this guy. We're going to have to make sure we have the bang for our buck. And I think that it was an executive producer's decision on that.
I kind of
But I
disagree
think
with
that
you, man.
I do think that they can go ahead and still have him there, and for him not to steal the show.
I kind of
Uh,
disagree with you there, man. I mean, X-Men 2 was basically centered on Wolverine, dude. It was his story.
All right, we got to be moving on. Again, there's more to discuss, but we're going a little short on time.
yeah.
A couple of things to bring up. First one is that Jurassic World plot got revealed. I mean, big fan of the Jurassic Park movies and all that. They basically let you know that in the new Jurassic World movie that's coming out, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, they've actually completed the amusement park on Isla Nublar. There's a biological preserve, a safari, a zoo, a theme park, luxury hotels. Gee, what can go wrong here?
Yeah, I see the Pirates of the Caribbean getting off the ride and eating the customers.
Does this movie have a future?
Uh,
I've never been a fan, so I kind of reclude myself because I've never been a fan.
yeah, well, I mean, I remember the whole hoopla when New World was coming out, and uh, I was like going, okay, um, no, the plot is sounding like me to its retread again. Same thing, same plot line.
Well, I'm just thinking about this, and the first movie I remember being great, and then I watched it the second time, and when I really watched it, it wasn't the actors that made me want to watch it. It was just seeing dinosaurs on the screen looking real. And now that that whole hype is basically gone away from me, just seeing this Jurassic World, and everything, you know what? Might as well be Dinotopia for all I care, because I'm not going to watch this. I'm going to go ahead and maybe see it on Blu-ray, maybe on disc, but oh my God, I mean, what else could go wrong? I mean, uh,
I'd
No,
sooner be interested in seeing the Henson's dinosaur movie. The Henson with the dinosaur. I'd sooner see that than this.
Oh,
I think I'd sooner see Batman Rising again.
no, I don't want to because a little side note. He's talking about the ABC TV series Dinosaurs. My wife,
Oh.
Oh, I
my
love.
wife did a marathon on that, and then she came across the final episode. You guys
and
remember the final episode?
No,
No.
actually, I don't.
End of the world, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to
Well,
spoil it because it's like 10 years now.
yeah.
Basically, the dad wipes out the entire species.
yeah, that's what I remembered. He caused the destruction of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, he caused the ice age. So, there you go. Great series. Okay.
Not the mama, not the mama.
Yeah, that kid died. Okay.
Thank God. Anyway.
Anyways, we got a couple of little quick things. Another little tidbit. Team Unicorn. If you're not familiar with Team Unicorn, look them up on YouTube. They've done amazing geek and nerd videos. They're nice. And apparently they're going to have a Saturday Action Fun Hour coming up this fall on Cartoon Network. Girls are going to have live action skits and cartoon segments.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Wait. How much did they pay them to sell out?
Oh, we talked about this for a while, that they were going to get a show or something.
Yeah, we
Yeah, but we thought they were gonna be. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll see what happens. We don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, personally, I just see it's Cartoon Network, so I know it seems like it's gonna be a disaster. That's just the feeling I get for it. It's Cartoon Network. I mean, if Cartoon Network was building a space shuttle, I'm not getting on it.
And when I see this, I mean, it would be one thing if it was on Adult Swim, but in the morning, I mean, I am seeing stuff that I'm seeing something that could be really, really bad, and like, hey kids, what do you have? Milk and eggs, or something like that, and I'm not gonna want to watch that. I mean, it's gonna just watching every single second. I'm just imagining, all right, which tooth are they gonna pull this time? Which one's gonna come out? Oh, there goes the other one. Oh my God.
Hey kids, what time is it?
Shut up. That is not what I want to hear. But you know what? I can imagine, that some things could go really bad, some things can go really good. I just don't know about this. Maybe they got something good, but I kind of doubt it.
Well,
It's Cartoon.
what doesn't make sense to me is what audience are they targeting? Team Unicorn appeals to guys like us and nerds and stuff like that. What audience are they eating? That just boggles the mind. I don't get it.
That's why I say that it has to be on. That's why I say it has to be on Adult Swim.
That makes
with
sense.
with the girls scantily clad as per the thing. I mean,
The contract.
it's probably in their contracts that they have to wear as little as possible, or a Master Chief outfit, something like that, with boobies. Sorry, but but it has to, huh?
Knowing you, you'd want them going ahead and jumping on trampolines every single episode.
Oh God, yes, yes.
Basically, Orly wants the man show back, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the man show. That would be
You
so
want
good.
them on the man show.
I mean, you could see the Wheel of Destiny once again. I mean, Jello, whatever, stuff like that. I mean, if they do something like that, I can't imagine this being in a kid's show. If they try to do it, it can wind up really bad. These kids could be like, well, they did it here. Why don't we do it in real life? And we're gonna have some bad things.
Charlie.
All right. Go ahead, Kelly.
I was gonna just say the kids are already doing that in real life.
That's the scary part. That is the scary part. Oh,
Well, there's a reality and then perception of reality. Come on, that's the way it always works. The reality of things and the perception of where reality's supposed to be. Cartoon Network's gonna get sued when this first episode comes out.
Right now, the image in my mind is coming from Dude, Where's My Car? My favorite line, Dad, I want to go on that ride. Me too, son. Me too.
All right. And we got some Marvel news, especially big Marvel news.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got Edgar Wright, and you guys have heard it. I mean, it's not news. It's been on for, all past week, Well, most of the week. Well, actually, the weekend, actually. Edgar Wright is gone. He's not going to be directing Ant-Man anymore. They're trying to get Gunn from the guy that directed Guardians of the Galaxy to step in. We'll see what happens there. And again, the only thing cited was creative differences, which, I don't know. I got mixed feelings about that. I mean, what do you guys feel about it? I mean, on the one hand, I think that if he was trying to, change Ant-Man completely to what he looks like in Marvel, okay, maybe it makes sense to part ways, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'd like to know on what side this is on, whether it was the producers wanting to go away that he didn't want to, or was it that he was trying to go away that they didn't want to. For myself, I'm very much one in respect for Edgar Wright. I mean, he's made some of my favorite films of all time. And I know this. He is a very big comic book fan. And I can't see him going ahead and trying to mess with it so much that he as a fan wouldn't like the movie. But I don't know which way it went. and I'd like to know.
I kind of disagree with you in certain aspects. I mean, I hated Hot Fuzz. I hated that movie. I didn't like it. Out of and I was just coming off of Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead was great. That movie made a lot of sense. I didn't like Hot Fuzz. And he was trying to do something like Hot Fuzz with this. I could see why they might part ways. I mean, there is a story that he was with this project for a long time, so I'm not sure where they kind of ended up butting heads, and he said, "I have to walk away from this."
Well, part of it, I was thinking that the way he is kind of known. He's a director. Some directors want to be their own thing. They do their own thing, and they don't want anybody to tell them how to do it. And here I keep thinking, he's never worked with a mega $1 million blockbuster, and this is what it is. It is a major movie franchise, which I hate to use the word corporate, but it does have some corporate implications. I mean, Disney is behind it, and you don't mess with the mouse. At the bottom line, I'm thinking that probably is that Marvel is very protective, especially Disney. It's very protective of its stuff. So if they mess, if maybe I'm thinking the director wanted to be a little risque, because he has been, and maybe he wants to do something a little different with the character, it could be that Marvel said, no, we're not going that way, because this character is going to be in the Avengers 2, he's going to be in cameos, we're going to, basically they're selling the character. And I'm thinking somewhere along the way, Disney probably stepped in and said, okay, look, this is going a little too far. This is our type of movies. We got to think about the kids. We got to do, this, that. And if you're not going to work with us, there's the door. We're Disney. We'll get somebody else.
And that might be because of something. If you mentioned something that he had done some stuff risque, maybe he was thinking about doing something with Wasp. You had that potential. And you got several other things that could come into play. I mean, we don't know the whole story, and like one friend told me, you have what he knows, you have what they know, and then you have the truth. I mean, you're never going to get the absolute truth from everybody. You're going to find out little tidbits here and there, but you're not going to find out everything.
No, and you're right. Hollywood.
That's why I'm wanting to know.
There's one thing we know about Disney for sure, or at least Marvel movies. We know one thing for sure. They're not afraid of getting rid of people. Look at Iron Man. As much as I like Terrence Howard and the roadie that he played, they had no problems getting rid of him when he started arguing about, I want to get paid more money. Okay, you're gone, and they replaced him with Don Cheadle. They had no problem doing that. They had no problem replacing Edward Norton and Hulk. No problem with that either. You know what I mean? And that's the pattern that they've had. If you're not going to follow their vision, I don't think they're going to be afraid of letting you go, And this just seems more proof of that, On some, I can't really say that I feel, well, I don't know. I really like Terrence Howard. I would have enjoyed him more in Iron Man 2 if he'd have been in it, but you know what I mean? The movie worked, Edward Norton, I like the new Hulk, I like the way he portrayed him as well, So I don't know. It's a mixed bag, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. We have to wait till the movie comes out, and we'll see. If it's a complete train wreck, then we know Edward was right,
And I gotta say, sometimes it works. I mean, Mark Ruffalo to me was a great Hulk.
Yeah.
And the talk is of him getting a movie introducing She-Hulk, and if it's with him, I'm for it, man. And he's for it. James Norton, yeah, he's kind of a prima donna, so. You got to work with these types, especially when it comes to these major blockbusters. You can't go crazy. It's the same thing. Like if Edward Wright was the director of Star Wars Episode 7, and if he said, "Oh, I'm going to do these crazy ideas. I'm going to have Luke Skywalker do this, and I'm going to have this dude done that."
Can't be any worse than having Luke Skywalker doing dance.
Yeah, and so Disney's going to say, "Get the hell out." They're not going to let you do anything risque with their Star Wars or Marvel or the Indiana Jones movies that they're working on and all that. So that could be it. He just maybe didn't want to work with them. And sometimes personalities clash. I mean, Hollywood is a very prima donna business, and from what I've seen, and I've seen things getting done and all that. Man, these guys are just sometimes it's egos. So who knows? What
You
else we
mean
got?
you mean Disney wouldn't have allowed aliens nor killer ants in the Indiana Jones series?
Now stop.
Yeah, we
Maybe
also
if
got
Disney was in charge of it, who knows?
All right,
we got
and
Daredevil. We got well. Sorry, go ahead, Orly.
well, I was gonna. You go ahead and introduce it because it's your bag.
Oh,
Yeah.
just bringing it up, but it's interesting. We got Daredevil news. They got the same kind of thing they had with Edward Norton, but I don't think it was the same issues. It doesn't seem like it was whatchamacallit. They parted amicably. It seems. What was his name? Drew Goddard. He was going to be the director for the Daredevil series on Netflix. He's gone. He's been replaced by D Knight, I believe, and it was amicable. The reason he split, according to the articles I've been reading, is that he's gonna be working on the new Spider-Man movie, the Sinister Six. So
Oh,
that was a kind of a cool. It wasn't a we don't want to work with you kind of thing. In fact, he got a friend of his to take over. So it was amicable. It seems it was amicable in this instance. And we'll see what he can do. Also, following along with the Daredevil news, they got a new they got the actor to play Matt Murdock. His name's Charlie Cox. And the only thing I've ever seen him in, which he was great in, was Stardust. I loved him in Stardust.
Who was he in
yeah,
Stardust? He
He
was
was
the
the
lead,
main
right?
character.
he's the lead
Yeah,
character.
that's who he was.
Yeah, he was the main character in Stardust.
Yeah, because I seen him in. I mean, he's different. He's got blonde hair now, and yeah, that's what I realized I've seen him from. Because I seen him on Boardwalk Empire, and yeah, he's a blonde, and he dyed his hair for Stardust.
Yeah. People
Good
tend to.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, and people tend to forget who he was in Stardust, and but it's just one of those things. But what do you think? How do you think he's gonna be as Daredevil? I don't. I kind of like. I don't know.
well, he can do
Well,
action.
I get the same feeling I get about Gotham. You know what I mean? We got to see what it's gonna look like. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I can't really even speculate at this
Well,
point.
I have to let people know that Netflix does their shows differently than the HBOs and the regular channels, Fox, NBC, and all that, because you will get all the episodes in one lump sum. You can binge watch all of them, and the thing that makes them really good is because they can shoot the entire series in almost they'll do it like one big movie. They can shoot the entire series in 2 months, cut it, edit it, all that, and you get everything, and it's done. And they'll shoot it nonstop, pretty much straight. A TV show, they take breaks, they take the weekends, they take months at a time and all that. So when you get the Daredevil series, you're going to get it all in just plop right there, and you can judge it and watch everything and see it all, and it's probably going to be one big storyline because that's how the old Netflix series works. If you watch The Orange Is New Black or House of Cards, all that, it's just like one big plot. That's what they do with them. So that's pretty much what we're going to get. But what I like is that Daredevil is going to be part of the Marvel universe.
And not only Daredevil, from what I understand, they got other characters coming in, like Power Man, I think, Luke Cage. I can't remember who else, but they got other characters kind of coming in, which great. The more Marvel, I'm happy.
So,
Well, they tossed them in, but Daredevil's the only one that we're actually, like I said, it's not a movie until you actually have a star.
That's true.
Yeah.
um, so this is with Disney Marvel?
Yeah, it's part of
Mar-
Disney Marvel.
Okay, so it's part of the Disney Marvel. Then, I mean, it'll probably be pretty good. We'll see. I'm like to see what they do with it.
I kind of wish we had a little bit more, like a trailer of that, and also Agent Carter. I want to see. I wish there was more. But I guess I gotta be patient. I'm sure they're gonna
Well,
release it.
trailers are coming and all that. It's all coming.
Yeah.
All right, we got some toy news here to share with you guys. Big
Oh boy.
controversy, right?
Of course, Mattel has been promising Club Eternia people that there is going to be something special coming in June. Well, we found out last night
Oh
at
God.
about 11 o'clock. No, it was about 10 o'clock on the East Coast. And it goes, wah, wah, wah. We are now getting an official baby Skeletor doll. Yes, they went and used the idea from Robot Chicken because last season we had Baby Want More, where Skeletor became a baby and infiltrated the palace nursery and liked getting beaten.
Yeah, he liked the spanking. Yeah,
Well,
I
they
Well,
had a
remember
new
that.
one. They had a new one with Baby Skeletor.
yes, I put that up on our website
Yeah.
as part of my response to this lovely $35 abomination. You can get an idea where I am going. Plus shipping and handling and dealing with Digital River. So we're talking $50+ for a $20 baby doll.
And
With Skeletor on face.
Right. The
Yeah.
only new tooling is the face, the Havoc staff, and possibly the bottom of the toilet, though I think that was still a reuse from another baby doll that I haven't found yet. So, all over the internet for the last 24 hours, he fans and she ravers have been complaining because they were looking forward to this surprise to get a doll. I mean, this would have been perfect for a San Diego exclusive because then you would have gotten your casual fan of He-Man and She-Ra, but who watch Robot Chicken to get it. I mean, Mattel is hoping that this sells out in early access on the 14th.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Well, this reminds me of that skit with Eddie Murphy in Saturday Night Live, Mr. Robinson, where he takes a baby doll with the Cabbage Patch and says, "Cabbage Patch Kid," you know.
yeah, I get this in the store. Cabbage Patch. There you go.
Well,
One thing. Go ahead.
well, while we were on the air, I was flipping through Facebook through some of the fan pages, and they've already started mocking Baby Skeletor with Baby Hordak. Customizers are jumping on it, but instead of using baby dolls, they're taking the Horde troopers, popping the head off, and putting baby doll faces on them.
Oh, that must
Uh,
look like that must be horrifying.
Now,
well,
the other San Diego exclusive that came out was from Hasbro, showing us what a true exclusive should be. We are getting Thanos. You have two different versions coming out: the 3 3/4, where you get 4 figures, and the Infinity Gauntlet. That is going for $79.99.
now,
Or
just to clarify, that's the actual, a toy Infinity Gauntlet.
yes, it can be used for cosplay. It's
Oh,
made
it's a
for
toy
adults.
game.
Or you can get the 6-inch figures, which have 5 different figures. That goes for $99. Both of them have a Thanos in them. But the packaging is outstanding. It's what you expect. You're not going to see these anywhere else. Not like what Mattel's doing to us.
Yeah, that's worth getting. I mean, totally. And the word is that even Robot Chicken guys looked at the baby Skeletor and said no, but they decided to sell them anyway.
That's what the rumor is, that they passed. That's why you don't see in the bio for Baby Skeletor anything about Robot Chicken. Unlike Molar, where you did see the Robot Chicken and all, like the references in the bio.
All right. And speaking of conventions, we got a few. One thing we're going to announce on this side of the country, Nerds on the Couch is officially going to go to Las Cruces Comic Con. First guest announced is the return of Ray Park, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, cool.
Great.
Yeah. So this time we actually get to say hi to him.
Yeah.
They're going to offer plenty more, but again, you can go to Las Cruces Comic Con, check out their Facebook page. They're going to have more guest announcements coming up, and this is looking to be a great convention. This is the first convention for Las Cruces, which if you live in the El Paso area, it's our sister city in New Mexico, and they're really going to go all out, man. They really want to impress everybody. This is going to be a great convention to check out. And go to Facebook and look up Las Cruces Comic Con. If you're in the area, you're in Texas or New Mexico, it's worthwhile to check out. Ray Park is the first guest, so there's plenty more to be coming soon.
Well, here on the East Coast, we're also going to be at the Wayne, New Jersey Toy and Comic Book Convention this June 28th and 29th. We've been invited. If you're on the East Coast and you want to meet some of the people from Toy Hunter, they'll be there. Bunch of wrestlers are coming. I will be posting all the different guests later on this week on our Facebook page and on our website. So it is a great way to get out and enjoy. And if you happen to be into My Little Pony, we were also invited to the Big Apple BronyCon, which
That's
is
you, Kelly.
Yeah.
well, we have to still give them. We were all called the different names like they've been.
Fine, Chino, you go.
Okay.
No, this is more Orly's thing.
They have
What's a pony? I have no idea.
well, they have a lot of
Right.
guests. A lot of their guests are the voice actors, including Kate Weslock, who was the New Adventures Tila, and she plays Spike. That will be next weekend up in Jersey City, Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday will be their annual picnic. They haven't mentioned which park yet.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from them. The Bronies, it's a big community. We saw a bunch of them at the Sun City Sci-Fi, showing their love. My daughter cosplayed as one. And those voice actors, they think they're mostly there for the My Little Pony, but they have a long, long history of some of the most awesome cartoons that we enjoyed. So it's worthwhile meeting them.
It is.
We've met some of the cartoon voice actors, and they're great. I mean, they're all a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They're a little crazy. I mean, especially when you realize, especially when you realize that Mark Hamill does a lot of voice acting, and look how he is when he's just out there, especially talking like the Joker. It's really great.
Yeah. Well, and another quick little tidbit that was announced today is that we got the Star Wars Fan Expo here in El Paso, Texas. It's brought to you by the nice guys at the Sun City Sci-Fi, which again, you can look them up on Facebook, do a Facebook search, Sun City Sci-Fi, and they announced their first guest, which is going to be Tim Rose, Admiral Akbar himself.
Holy.
It's a trap!
I was about to say, bring on the "it's a trap" jokes. Come on. Again, the convention is going to be October 4th through 5th. You can check that out at the El Paso Civic Center. More info on their Facebook pages.
It's still a trap!
We got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. A couple of quick little tidbits. We got to be finishing up. If you keeping up with the Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice, they supposedly had a look at the Superman's costume, which is kind of weird looking, actually. I mean, it's hard to describe.
It looks cybernetic or something to me. It looked, with the things, like, it kind of looked like that, or like it was like scale armor or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of first thought circuitry, like it had like circuitry on it. So I was kind of like, what is this?
Yeah, well, it can have some really big implications. What is it going to do? What is it going to be used as? Is he going to go ahead and be able to pull out that cellophane thing and throw it at Batman? I don't know.
Is he going to kiss Lois Lane and make everybody forget?
Is
The
he gonna,
movie will be perfect. Yeah, we need the cellophane shield.
yeah, that cellophane shield is like the best thing in since sliced bread. You can't it's easy access. If you need to wrap up any leftovers, you got it. That's it.
They could put a twist on us, and Batman is the one that has the cellophane shield.
Well, I
Well,
gotta say,
you notice the utility belt is bigger on the inside. Anyway.
Yep,
well,
yep.
I was gonna mention too that Kevin Smith went on his podcast talking about it, and it's starting to come out that he's kind of had a hand in this. I suspect he's actually was kind of a secret behind the scenes screenwriter. But he is behind the scenes. Kevin Smith is actually behind the scenes out of these movies, and he revealed that this Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice is actually going to be part one of a series of movies that Warner Brothers is planning. This is their ace in the hole. They're not following Marvel's continuity plan. They're following an overall story arc that's going to take place in about maybe the way they're thinking of it, like 5 or 6 movies, including a Batman solo movie, a Wonder Woman solo movie, another Superman movie, possibly a Cyborg, another Green Lantern. It's all in the works.
Animal Man.
Give me
Maybe
Flash.
Animal.
That's all I want. I want Flash.
Yeah, well, Flash has a TV series, man.
Hey, I'm a fan. I want everything, dude. Give me a movie.
Well, the
too.
big question to me, and the thing they're saying is that the Flash TV series is part of that DC universe, and they're going to integrate the Green Arrow into the DC universe.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because DC's never been DC movies have never been really good about that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I mean,
they're
the
going
one
the right
thing-
direction to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. That's all I said.
One of the ones that I've fallen in love with the comics, and I hope that they would go ahead and reintroduce this character, because I know he had his own movie, and but I'm talking about Jonah Hex. I'm liking the new comics that they have for him, and I'd like to see what they could do with him.
Yeah, because that movie was terrible.
Mm.
Oh. I know you liked it, but the rest of us, oh.
If there was any time for Superman's kiss to make you forget, that would be the case.
And I brought this point up before. I mean, you saw a certain actress's performance in Jonah Hex. How did you see that and go, "Oh, she'd be perfect in Ninja Turtles"? I don't. I can't explain how that happened.
Well, we've already talked about how much we're
Wow.
dreading what's going to be the Ninja Turtles. We've already talked about that to death.
Yeah,
the
let's
rape
just wait
of
till
my
we get
childhood.
But our last bit of tidbits here that we got to talk about is, Sci-Fi Channel has introduced 9 new shows that are coming in. And I got to say, yeah, it's a lot. And part of it was that the new executive vice president said is that they're embracing, or they said, we need to go back to our roots, because I got to say, Sci-Fi Channel has kind of lost their way with the reality shows and the wrestling, I mean, okay, hey, I'm a big fan of Heroes of Cosplay. That makes sense. I like the Jim Henson, okay, but, we're kind of getting a little bit tired of all these reality shows and wrestling. I'm like, okay. And now, finally, they're going back to actual Sci-Fi, and they announced 9 shows. A couple of them are going to be miniseries. Some of them are going to be full-fledged shows. First one that caught my attention, and they have the trailer for it, is Ascension, which basically starts like in the night. That basically it's an alternate history where mankind went to the moon and all that, but there was a secret 1960s space mission of a ship that gathered people, and they're going to colonize another planet. Now I'm thinking, wow, that's high concept there.
Well, yeah, and I like how they're describing it as a reverse Battlestar Galactica, and in a way it is. It's interesting. I want to see it, but I want to see what they do with it. I don't know how much I'm not going to be like chomping at the bit, counting the time for it. Myself,
Go ahead.
one of the other ones that they're bringing that I'm actually a name that's connected with it. I'm not very fond of, which is Z Nation, which does sound like it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see, and I want to see if they can go ahead and bring out the spirit of World War Z in regards to people having to work together to go ahead and survive, and not the way that it is in The Walking Dead, where it's like okay,
Everything gets worse.
yeah, how crappy can we make them, life for them this time?
I think that's what the screenwriters do, man. I mean, I think that's what the TV writers do. They get in a room and they say, okay, how can we totally mess up these people completely? I mean,
Yeah,
How
wow.
can we ruin their lives?
What new piece of shit can we throw in their way now?
Hey, watch the language. Poo poo.
What series did they come out in sci-fi? And this is not too long ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Do you remember it was something about Alaska and a contagion? And it looked interesting when I saw the trailer to it, and I saw the first episode, and it was horrible. So I'm kind of,
Well, here's the thing: is that the executive producer is Uwe Ball, our favorite director.
Oh,
Yeah.
God help us.
Right. But I mean, once that name got thrown out there, I'm like going, I don't know if I'm gonna be looking forward to this or not. I don't know. I've seen what he can do as a director, which is nothing. But
Don't hide your feelings, David. Come on.
oh, come on. You guys know how much I hate Uwe Ball, and I think there is
Good.
some pact with the devil that he's made to be able to go ahead and get so many actors into
Good.
I would
Embrace
love
your
to see you
hatred.
and him in a fist fight, dude. I just want to see that.
Yeah. Uwe Ball said anybody criticizes him, they can have a fist fight. So I am willing to sponsor David versus Uwe Ball. We could have that at the Sun City Sci-Fi next year.
You know what? I could picture that from that South Park episode where they had the devil and the other guy, and the devil takes a fall. I could totally.
Yeah.
Because he was the only one who bet on Jesus.
Oh, boy.
But either way, I don't know if I'm gonna, like that series. And some of the other ones seem like they're more comic book
Well, there's
themselves.
a few ones.
Well, the one that I really liked is the DMZ, and it takes place with. I mean, I like the Milestone comics. I kind of regret I never read more of them, which I really need to kind of work on that. And Milestone gave us a lot of great characters. Static Shock came out of Milestone comics. Icon. Who only had a brief introduction in Young Justice. So I'm interested to see where they go with that, because the Milestone comics world is dark. And it's interesting, and it's heroes in like real world settings.
Well,
So
DMZ caught my interest because, it takes place in the future, Civil War, and I'm kind of curious, where are they going to go with this?
Escape from New York.
Hey,
I'm
that
kind
was
of
great.
hoping they would. I kind of hoping they would.
Hey,
But
I
there's a little.
love New York.
But from what I looked at it, there's a little bit more of conspiracy, why the Civil War happened, what tore the nation apart, and all that. So they're throwing a little bit of intrigue, and I'm sure there's going to be like shifty characters, and I think this has a potential of having a good plot.
Yeah, we have to
We'll
see what
see when it
happens with
comes
that.
out.
All right, which
Well,
other ones we got?
you also got another comic book movie, which is Killjoys. I have no idea because I've never read the comic book. I don't know what Killjoy is all about.
Well, basically the way it looked. Again, I'm not familiar with it either, but I know Killjoy is a phrase that started from the Halo games, and
Yeah,
basically it's about space bounty hunters. That's basically like
that's
Dog the
basically
Bounty Hunter
all.
in space.
Yeah, that's basically all it says. Might as well watch Cowboy Bebop. I know it's just one of those things.
Hey, maybe it'll be like Troopers.
Ooh.
That was good.
I
Troopers.
would be I would be cool if they did like a Dog the Bounty Hunter sci-fi kind of reality, show.
Yeah.
Well,
You
it's
know,
no different from the reality shows we get now. I mean, look at the ones with the Repo Men. I mean, that was all staged, so why not?
no, I'm
Hey,
saying we deal in sci-fi. Like some Dog
they're
the
so,
Bounty Hunter is going after some Martian, and they're trying to run away.
no, no, no. I want to see the episode where they're trying to tow the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
Han is there trying to stop him.
and I mentioned another show, the cloned one, which a lot of people are comparing to Orphan Black. We tried to see the first episode of Orphan Black, and it's got a lot of loyal viewers. I'm just not one of them. Okay, so
I don't
just in
think
case
any of
it's
us
kind of
were.
connected to Orphan Black, just that kind of is making me stay away from it. We'll see.
Well, I hate that they're using Orphan Black because when I saw the plot, it reminded me of that Arnold Schwarzenegger one. Was it 6 days later or?
Yeah, 6 days later, he's a
Yeah, the
clone of.
one. Yeah, where they clone him, but they accidentally clone him, so there's two Arnold Schwarzeneggers running around. It's the
I've
exact
never
same
seen
plot, man. That's concept of the series.
Oh, why not? I mean, we have to see what they put out. I mean, it's not something I'm going to dismiss right away. I'll try to watch the first couple of episodes, and I mean try, but if it doesn't catch my attention, I won't watch the rest.
As long as they're not making Sharknado the series.
Well, another one that kind of got me is kind of called The Expanse, which is from series of novels here. I haven't looked at them. Now I'm kind of curious. It's supposed to be uh, detective stories in space.
Film noir.
Yeah, in space. Which kind of reminds me of that. What was that one with Sean Connery, where he's like a space sheriff?
Outland.
Outland.
Outland. I have
Yeah.
it. I
know,
loved Outland. That Outland is one of my favorite movies. I love that one.
do you think it would be more closer to the line of what's the name of that movie? Where you didn't know the replicants. You didn't know whether he was a replicant
Oh,
or not.
you're talking about Blade Runner, man,
Yeah, Blade
Yeah.
Runner.
which is another one of my favorite films.
Yeah, but Blade Runners, what? They were robots, right? Who didn't know they were
Yeah.
robots?
Yeah,
No,
but
no,
it's still.
they were robots. They wanted to go ahead and get more life. They
Well,
were
no,
after
that was
their life.
that was my major plot point. Just totally, I'm like, so okay, you build these robots, so like they don't know that they're robots.
They do.
One of them.
They
That's
do.
kind of dick.
No, they know that they're robots.
No, but there's one that doesn't know if she's a robot or not, and she doesn't know
Finds
until
out, yeah.
yeah, and she finds out.
The
Yeah,
Tyrell's niece.
To me, it
Yeah.
always got on my nerves because I kept thinking, it's like Chino thinks he's a guy, but in reality, he's a girl. They just played a joke on him.
Oh, oh, that'd be cruel. That'd be
Oh
such a
wait,
cruel
I'm a
joke.
robot? Is that what we're saying?
All right.
All
So
right.
he's actually Orlando.
All right. The other one that, again, they talk about is called Letter 44, which is supposed to be a future president of the United States gets a letter, which is tradition I hear from the presidents, that they always get a letter from the previous president. And in this one, the president is informing them that there's some kind of space issue coming and like end of the world aliens type thing, or something big is going to happen in this new president. So it's kind of like the West Wing meets the end of the world.
If it was West Wing meets the end of the world meets Dave, I think Orly would be even more interested in it.
Hey, Dave was a great movie.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Now we got Pax Romana, which I don't know. We'll see. If it's got something with medieval stuff, I might watch it. I like swordplay, man.
Well, the way it is, it's a time travel, kind of alternate history type thing where they go back to try to stop World War III, which I'm kind of like, didn't we just see this in X-Men? And
Yeah, but here's the thing: they go back to Roman times. I mean, how can you stop a war that happens in the future, far off World War III, and you're going all the way back there to try to stop it? And you know what? All this just says butterfly effect. Someone's gonna kill somebody at the wrong time, and everything's gonna go boom. Oh well, sorry.
which is like, okay, the butterfly effect wasn't that great of a movie.
Oh no.
And yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, future sci-fi. You go to the Roman Empire? Really? Somebody
They need to bring back Lex. Bring back Lex.
Oh,
man, I think the janitor passed away, dude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he passed away like a few years back, I think.
Yeah, and then, well, all I can think about is then just you're your own grandpa. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I could be my own ancestor if I travel that far back.
Oh God, yes. Who knows how many times your genes have gone around after that? I mean, look at Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
I saw this. That was Futurama, wasn't it? Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Fry's future grandpa. You ever feel like you like girls because they tell you to?
Never say that. Never, ever, ever, ever say that.
Okay. All right, last one. 12 Monkeys, the series.
I didn't even like the movie.
Yeah, I had zero interest in the movie. Yeah.
Kelly, you ever see that one?
I saw the movie. I couldn't stand it.
Okay, yeah. Just to recap, it has it's a time travel, and it has a crazy Brad Pitt, right? He's nuts.
No, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis,
Oh,
Brad Pitt's in it.
I mean, Brad Pitt
Brad Pitt was in it.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's in it.
Think of a movie that even Brad Pitt couldn't save, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Brad Pitt plays a nut job. I'm thinking he's Tyler Durden after he gets found out. And
But the guy that went from the past, that was Bruce Willis, wasn't it?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
the twist was everybody thought that it was Brad Pitt character who was going to cause the plague because he started a thing called 12 Monkeys. And then it got all convoluted because Bruce Willis watches his own death. And yeah, it really was a mind F of a movie. You know?
So who caused the plague? I don't even remember.
It turned out like it was nobody. It was like an insignificant guy, right? Wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I never saw it, dude.
No, the way I recall, it was just like the janitor or just, like a nobody that just carried it. And it looked like they were going to stop him, but you don't know. So, I don't know. And they're making a TV series out of this, which is like, what? This movie's like, what, 15 years, 20 years old?
25.
Yeah, something like that.
And now you're coming out with a TV series?
Mm.
And you don't do a John Carter sequel? What the?
Oh God, yeah. Yes. Oh, John Carter, it would have been so awesome.
I know, considering that last bit of little news I'm throwing in here, Taylor Kirsch said that they handed him the script for the second John Carter movie, and he said it would have been mind blowing. And if you read the second book, it would have been extremely amazing.
Yep.
But man, they kill good stuff. And even I mean, that movie fired people. Like I said, they know me. I've gone on rants over it, so I'm not. But that's for a discussion later. I see that we're coming down to time. I'd like to thank you all for watching our show. You can catch any news, any postings, anything we have on our Facebook page, facebook.com/nerdsonacouch. You can catch our articles, more information, our videos, and all that on nerdsonacouch.com. That's all together, nerdsonacouch.com. Thank you for watching, and keep checking us out. Thank you.
All right.